was thinking about watching. Well, I saw Hell and High Water, and I was like, no, we just talked about it, and I was like,
That's for another prompt when we have to watch each other's movies.
yeah, well,
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
whoa, I watched a movie.
You too? I watched a movie.
Oh, hey. Oh, I gotta describe my last meal. I was like, I get to skip. What do I get to skip?
Is that now? Is that when we actually start? I feel like intro first.
We did intro. No, I scrolled down and I saw my name and I was like, what? My name's never there.
Am I in trouble? Yeah, but yeah, I happened to watch a movie I already owned.
Me too.
Wow. I have the physical edition in front of me because apparently I bought a fancy edition probably as a gift to Strider.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember purchasing this.
It's right there. That black blob on the third shelf down.
Your
underneath the Kleenexes.
CD case.
Yes. I was flipping through that and I was like, okay, I knew I had these two movies. And I was like, okay, which one do I want to watch? And I'm like, okay, one of these I think would fit on another topic, so I'll watch this other one. But I was like, let me just take a look. And then I flipped the page and I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I'm watching. But I don't have the case anymore because I was trying to make space when I was moving out of my parents' house.
I opened up a drawer. I have only... Oh. I had pasta for dinner. Apologies. Carbs make me sleepy. But I opened up a drawer that I remembered we kept, like, we have, like, a TV console, and bottom left drawer seems to be DVDs. Middle is, like, video games. Not that we own, like, not that we buy a lot of physical video games anymore. And then right is, like, tech graveyard. Like, oh, what is this wire for? I don't remember. So I opened up the DVD drawer. I was pulling out of stuff, and I was like, okay, all of the, like, movies I recognize, I've already, like, watched. There were a handful that I clearly bought from a clearance bin from different places, because it was still plastic wrapped and had a little, like, $5 sticker on it. And some of them were those, like, movie collections, like, oh, the greatest hits by this actor or this director. And I was like, I probably bought this because it was $5 for 4 movies, but I only wanted to watch, like, one of them. And I had, like, the tiny pile, and I was like, all right, Strider, which of these? I almost watched the Tim Curry It movie, and Strider looked up the runtime, and I think he said it was, if not 3 hours, longer than 3 hours. And I was like, I don't have it in me. Like, I didn't plan appropriately. I didn't plan for multiple days of watching, like I'll do for longer movies. So, went with a different one. But most of those movies in that pile were things that Strider is like, he's watched all of them, and I clearly bought them. Because I was like, oh, he likes this movie, we should watch it sometime. Because once upon a time, the two of us existed before streaming services.
Hey!
When you had to get stuff mailed to you from Netflix.
Yeah. I was doing that while Netflix still had the streaming service because they just had stuff on there that, like, that's how I was introduced to Netflix. Like, they just started their streaming stuff, or, like, it's been up there for a while, and everyone's like, no, you can just get the DVDs. So I'm just like, oh, okay. So I was doing that for a while, and then people were like, why don't you just stream it? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I remember that's how I got introduced to, I'm blanking on the movie now, the Bong Joon-ho movie with the creature. It's not Parasite, even though that makes sense for a creature movie.
It was, hold on, I have it right here. The Host.
The Host, yeah. And I distinctly remember my brother, like, pulling out the little cardboard envelope in bright red and going, oh, I have a DVD. I was like, what? And then we watched it. No, I still have fond memories of going to Blockbuster, and also there was a locally owned rental place with, like, VHS tapes and everything like that I used to go to.
Yeah.
But there's the Steam game, Retro Rewind, where it's like a simulator and you run essentially like a VHS rental store, and you can, like, customize it and put a bunch of stuff in it. So very nostalgic, very silly.
There's speaking about Blockbuster, I remember going into Blockbuster a few times and stuff, and well, more than a few. But I remember having a lot of fun going in there as I was a kid. But then there's a movie that came out. It's called Be Kind Rewind. I don't know if you've
I've heard the phrase. I've seen the signs for rental places.
So it's a bit of a low budget film. But it's like Blackjack before he got big. Like, not like
Jack Black?
Wait. Did I say Blackjack?
Yeah, I was like, our friend.
Sorry, I just was playing Call of Cthulhu with him on Monday.
Okay.
Jack Black, yes. Before like his career like took off.
Yeah.
And it's I forget who else is in it. Let me just look it up. The movie real quick. Let's see. We'll bring up the movie name. It did. Yeah, so it's from 2008. It's got Jack Black, Danny Glover, and Yasin Bey. I'm not familiar with that name. Probably I just butchered it. Probably. He let's see. Oh. He's Most Def. the rapper, I think.
Okay.
He was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as Ford. Let me see. Actor. He's Lee in House. I don't know what that is.
Doctor Show.
I know what let me read it. I know what House is. I don't know what the
character is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if there was other things, because like I don't know. Like you go to his IMDb and it's got like Zootopia. Oh, it's for some reason they want to play the trailer for Zootopia, and I was like, I don't see him in here. But anyway, so it's these three guys, like pretty much these three guys that are there. They this is like when DVDs are coming out, and all like the one of their friends owns a video rental store, and they're trying to figure out what to do and go all that, like because DVDs are taking over. No one is renting movies anymore, and so Jack Black's character is a little eccentric. This
makes
what
sense
a surprise.
for him. Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why, but they go to a power plant to do something, and he like goes over, and like he gets shocked and like electrified, and pretty much becomes an EMP, and he walks by the and like erases all the videotapes. And they don't realize it, that all the tapes have been erased until he's like, oh yeah, I did that. Like, that's the whole premise. But, so someone comes around to movie, they get all pissed off. It's like, dude, there's nothing on the tape. I want my money back. And they're just like, hold up. Give me a sec. Come back this afternoon. We'll have the movie for you. And so these three guys, they pretty much make a shortened 5 to 10 to 20 minute version of that movie in their backyard. And so they do, like, the first one's, like, The Lion King, and they do all that, and they're, like, act it all out. And then they're like, I don't know what the heck we're going to do. And, they're like, here's your movie. And the guy goes out, and it's like, we're so screwed. Like, we lost everything. The guy comes back the next day, he's like, dude, that was amazing. You got anything else? And so, and then they start getting all this traction as they, like, make these, like,
bootleg,
bootleg 5-minute short movies and stuff. And
it's kind of like the YouTube channel of, like,
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like the town gets in on it, and it builds and builds. It's like, and then to the point, like, well, that the end is, I was about to give a spoiler for the end, but it's like the ending for what they do is it's pretty good.
Okay. Sometimes it's fun to watch like nostalgic movies like that. But yeah, are you ready to talk about the physical media that we got to watch this week? Can't say that very often. I think you've watched one other one you owned on. No, I watched something you own.
Yes, last week, Hell or High Water. I watched Alita Battle Angel. I owned that.
Oh, was that for a movie you've been meaning to watch?
I think so. Oh, that's my budget sheet. Here we go. Yes, because that's... Yeah, you watched Old Boy. Mm-hmm. And then... I'm just, like, doing a quick look-see-doodle here. Yeah, I think that was the only other one.
Okay.
I'm, like, looking at my list. I'm like, there's only 2 movies I rented.
Yeah, we did well this year.
Yeah.
We used to have to rent every... Well, when we watched the A24, we had to rent every movie. But in any case, I guess let's get started rolling some dice while we double-check all of these rules. I think nobody has a streak yet, right?
No, because we just switched.
Okay. So what kind of dice would you like to roll this week? They're all even.
Yeah, so I'm just going to just do this, and then whatever seems to come into my... Well, I was playing Traveler, D6.
All right, D6 it is. If you're
probably because it's the flattest surface. Anyway, sorry.
If you're newer here, if it's not obvious, we talk about movies. This week we watched a movie that we physically own but haven't gotten around to watching yet. And we roll dice because we play lots of role-playing games. You did just mention Traveler. And we do it with a bunch of silly rules to see who gets to open up our conversations. You won't find any spoilers here, not like our other series, as Itisdpayne holds the Traveler RPG book. But yes, so you won't find any spoilers here unless somehow we watch the same movie. Statistically, really unlikely. We've only had it happen once and we both knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then, I guess we just need to pay attention to see if our movie starts with the same letter.
All right. So I rolled the dice.
Well, we both get to roll the dice.
Yeah, I was just letting you know I did so I could start looking at...
Hold up, mine just fell off the table. Hold on, there was something with that. I remember this because I made the roll.
There was a time.
There was something. Oh, right above the red. If your die falls to the table, I have to roll the next highest die. That wasn't on purpose. I don't have a lot of space here. Okay, well, I have my D8.
And the lowest will be going first.
Yes. All right. Well, I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 2.
Oh.
So I will be going first this week.
Well, what did I would have rolled a 5 on the D6 anyway.
Let me check other rules. So I have to come up with a joke.
I don't have to do anything.
You can skip your fact of the day. So if you want to start describing your last meal while I think of a joke.
Yes. So for people who are wondering this, describing our last meal was if we got the correct rating for the movie. I think it was, right? No. That was... Why did we have to say food? I'm looking through here.
If it was your prompt.
Oh, prompt. Oh, okay. Yes. So the movie that you own that you haven't watched, that was my prompt. So I made banh mi's on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I just realized, I got 82 names for my fiance. You know what? She did say, hey, just say the name that I have on Discord. And the thing is, it's such a mouthful. It's Portminius. I don't like it. But anyway, it's just whatever. She was coming over on Sunday, so I made banh mi's. But I had all this leftover pork because I bought pork belly and made the meat. I marinated, boiled it, cooked it, and everything. So now I have a whole bunch of this broiled pork belly left over. And so I've been chopping that up and putting it with rice, onions, and peppers with a little bit of soy sauce and seasonings. I put that all in my rice cooker and come back in an hour and I eat it. And today I will say I added a little bit too much water because I was dragging my feet a little bit because Monday and Tuesday were late nights. And so the rice was a little bit soggy, but it was still edible. It was good. If I remember the night before to rehydrate my shiitake mushrooms, I would throw that in there as well, because I bought a pack of dried shiitake mushrooms, and I just forget.
Yeah,
So,
when you have to have that prep. Like, I bought dried beans, and there was a weekend night that I would, like, or weekend afternoon I wasn't busy, and I was like, today has to be the day I make my dried beans, and I make a lot of them, so then I can just freeze them. So then I will have the beans and not have to have it simmer for a full hour. And soak before that, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll soak them the night before. Sometimes, like, if I get home and soak them, they'll get just good enough. Honestly, depending on your recipe with dried shiitake mushrooms, sometimes 15 minutes is fine.
Yeah, because if you throw it in a soup afterwards, then it's gonna...
Yeah. So it really just depends. But no, that's like the majority of my week cooking is rice with veggies and a protein all in the rice cooker, and then I just steam it all and turn it. And let me tell you guys, if I had a dishwasher, I'd put it in there.
The whole rice cooker, right?
Yeah, the whole rice cooker. And you know what? I'll put that in the dishwasher along with my rice noodle mason jar.
Anyway.
Jokes that someone on WhatsApp or whatever that thing is texting me. Hold up. It's not important to me. Oh, it went away. I didn't know it could do that. Did someone delete it? Wow.
Secrets.
Or did I get kicked out of the game? I'm going to investigate this for a second, but
yeah, I got to come up with a joke for my title of a movie. So I guess what I'll say is
it was deleted. Sorry. Okay.
Your curiosity. I watched a movie, and while it contained a lot of running, it did not contain a lot of blades.
Dances with Wolves.
I have watched that movie before. In school. You know?
I don't think I've watched it. It was just like, I don't know why, but that is the title that came to my head.
Not Blade Runner, perhaps?
Blade Runner. Oh, yeah. I was like... I don't know, like my brain went to like Blade night. Man and then Demolition Man and then
and then Kevin Costner and Dances with Wolves.
Well, and then it's like reading Buffalo Hunter. It's like I think they got animals in there sometimes.
I think in that book it does. But in any case, yeah. This week I watched Blade Runner. I think that's all I have to do. Oh, you just have to write down the time and then your guess for what you think I rated this movie.
Okay.
And you let me know when it's
I have seen this movie.
Yeah, I watched the Harrison Ford one, not the
I thought you would have given 2077 or something like that.
No, that's Cyberpunk.
I don't know. It's got a
another
date next
year.
to it. 2007. I don't know. But before that, we should probably make a new rule.
Oh, we probably... Do I have to do it? I have to start it.
I think we threw this out, and it's been a team effort. So if anyone... if one of us thinks of something fun, the other one normally comes up with the other part of it.
Oh, did our movie start with the same letter?
No.
Okay.
Let's see. If you win 10 times in a row, you must quote the whole B movie.
Print out the script and just start reading it for the entire episode.
One of these days, I will open up my timer app without opening up the calculator app.
It's okay. Since Google changed all of the logos for everything, I can't find any of my apps.
Yeah,
I was looking for the note, like Keep is what they call their notes app, and I was looking for it, and I was like, "Where is it?" And I was looking for the little icon, and I was like, "What the hell is that thing?"
I'm gonna look at it now. Oh, that's Wells Fargo. Sorry, I don't want to pay my loan. I already did that this week. The drive just looks silly.
It
The
does.
play button looks the same. Google, the Gmail got sunburned. Where's notes? Slides?
Yeah, look up Keep. It's called
Oh, yeah,
Keep.
that's what
It's a
it's
separate
called.
thing, yeah.
Oh, it's a duck.
It used to be a light bulb.
Oh, I can see the minimalism is great, but in art it has ruined.
I can't think of any other new rules. Oh, if we wear the same color. That's funny.
Okay.
Oh, where's my keyboard? There it is. If we wear the same color. All right, finish that statement.
We must share a piece of art.
Okay. Oh, I have a something different. We must do a quick doodle.
Oh, okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I have sticky notepads in front of me.
I
Perfect doodling size paper.
I got something.
Anyway, all right.
Yes.
Let me know.
Or we can doodle the other person's movie, what we think while they're talking about it.
That would be fun.
And then we reveal it at the end. But anyway, I got the time. I got the numbers, writing things. Okay. Oh, I guess I should have wrote down when you actually mentioned Blade Runner, because that's when I put in the movie title. Oh, well, it will show up now. Go ahead.
All right. So I mentioned, I don't know if I was on recording, but here's the nice edition. It's like a 30th anniversary edition of a Blu-ray Blade Runner, and it has like the cool like animated disc. But so disc 1 is a 2007 cut of it, and Strider was like, no, just watch the theatrical cut, which they put on disc 2, so that's missing right now. But disc 2 has a US theatrical cut, a European theatrical cut, and then a director's cut. I was like, what the hell? And so I was like, just watch the 1982 theatrical, because that's what most people probably have seen. But look, it has like, speaking of pieces of art, it's got cool art. And flipbook right in the case of the book. It's pretty fun. And for audio listeners, I'm
nice.
Slowly flipping through like different things. Anyway, and it's very shiny, but I feel like my monitor is just making it like too shiny.
Yeah, the lights.
Yeah, the lighting. But in any case, so yeah, I watched Blade Runner. Did you write down what you think I'm gonna rate it as you kill bug?
I have a number in mind because I don't have a way to write it down.
I didn't know if you were putting it in your notebook or like putting it in Discord.
I don't know. I just been keeping a mental number.
That's fair.
I'm kind of basing off of my own opinion of the movie. So.
A little bias. So what I'll say is, I will
change my number. Oh no, she's dying.
I know a lot of people were surprised this is my first time watching the movie, but I think the reason I'm just now getting around to watching the movie is I really like the classic work that it's based on, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick.
Yes.
And it's a novella, and I was told that I should treat the movie as not the book at all. Yes. And I was like, okay. And my favorite part of the book is not in the movie. And I can't tell people what it is because it's a spoiler in either direction.
In multiple things. Yeah. Even though it does not break our original rules for spoilers. And everyone's like, Dpayne, shut up. Let Hop talk. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Let me throw you a gif of what my favorite part of the book is. I'll just do... Look, we'll say it's the opposite of this. Does that make sense to you? I think that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
But in any case, so I tried to go in watching Blade Runner assuming that, like, you know, it's a completely different piece of work. And...
Sorry if I'm being distracting. I knew I had the book at one point.
Oh, I know I have a physical copy, but my shelves are in another room, so I'm not even going to pretend to go get it. But let me think. So I really enjoy like classic sci-fi. There's something about sci-fi from, I forget when this was published, but sci-fi from a certain time where it's very critical and very sad and very dystopian. And I feel like the original work, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, is very much that. And then Blade Runner, the movie, is very much the 80s going, but what if science is shiny? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Because I think the scenery in Blade Runner with Harrison Ford is very optimistic about the future. Like, the stuff that he's dealing with isn't, like, pleasant. But you have, like, these really, like, culturally diverse cities. You have cities that are so big that to get to all parts of it, you kind of have, like, not to compare another movie, but the Fifth Element type of taxis through it where you're flying around. I love Fifth Element. And then you have like really gorgeous scenery. I believe this one was directed by Ridley Scott. And I can see it for sure in the way that like certain things are shot. Because this is what, shortly after Alien? Because Alien I think is 78 and this is 82.
Yeah, they're
Something along
close.
those lines.
I can look it up.
But yeah, so I mean, I feel like everybody, or it's safe to say most people understand the general concept of Blade Runner. The TLDR I'll give is just, hey, what if androids is people too? Where you follow the Harrison Ford's character is Deckard, and Deckard has been tasked with finding these androids that supposedly have showed up in this area and are causing crime and havoc and murder and all these terrible things. And the name of the book, or name of the movie, has nothing to do with the original book in that, like, I guess they just thought Blade Runner sounded cool. But in the movie, he's like, I'm an ex-cop. I used to be a Blade Runner. And then they never mention the title of the movie ever again. And in the case of Harrison Ford's character, Deckard, a Blade Runner used to hunt down and deal with the replicants, as they're called.
Yeah, the Google phones.
So as you follow him along, he's very much like the typical noir main character, where he's kind of like one note. I don't want to like be a complete hater about it, but he very much has that I'm a man here to solve a problem and I have big gun and I love women, and I'm like, okay. And then
who doesn't?
but yeah,
Happy Pride Month.
People kiss. There was a man that kissed a man in this movie. Happy June.
And it wasn't David.
It wasn't him kissing himself, Ridley Scott.
Well, hey, he's got a theme. He likes robot dudes and kissing each other. I don't remember who the robot. It's been so long since this.
Oh, I guess it's technically a spoiler, so I won't mention. But yeah, so Deckard is basically told like, "Hey, you got one last job." And warning, in the beginning of this movie, there's a slur. There's a hard R dropped where Harrison Ford's character is like, he's such an old school cop. He uses like outdated terms that are offensive to people. And then he's like, he would call black people, insert hard R. And I went, Harrison Ford, you're not a better person. You still said the word. It'd be different if he... Yeah, it'd be different if he was like, yeah, he uses slurs. But instead he's like, yeah, he would call them. I went, oh, I'm awake now. That's in any case. So you have his like cop boss.
What an alarm.
Yeah. You have cop boss that's like, yeah, you got one last job. See, nobody else can take care of it. And Harrison Ford has his inner monologue. It was me on the strip dealing with the final job I was told that I never had to do again. And I was like, noir monologues are like really funny. I don't know why in my like way of listening to him, but it's just like the things he's thinking about I could surmise, but instead he's like, and I was upset. I'm like, yeah, you look upset. So he gets the final job to hunt down these replicants. He goes through, ends up at the major corporation, and the major corporation's like, hey, test this girl named Rachel. And then I was like, wow, we're like 30 minutes into the movie and we're into like the interesting part of the book. And then Rachel doesn't show up again for a very long time. And I went, oh, where's Rachel? I felt like Two-Face in the Batman movie. Or Batman in the...
Oh, yeah. Where's Rachel?
So anyway, and then when Rachel does come back, I was made quite uncomfortable. When's the last time you've watched this movie?
Like 12 years ago.
Yeah, that checks out. So I will say, as a warning for people, if you don't already know, I started to get this weird vibe of, I don't know if the 80s understood consent very well or if this was on purpose, but there's a short scene where, right before it got to the scene, Strider was hanging out with his friends in Discord, and I went, is Deckard an incel? And his friends took offense because they like the movie, and I wasn't like shitting on the movie specifically, but the way that Deckard is presented is like, he meets Rachel, he does the test with Rachel and goes, man, I killed a lot of people, I don't have feelings, but I can't stop thinking about a hot robot lady. And then there's a scene where he shoots one of the robots he's hunting down, who's a sex worker, and he's like, shooting a woman in the back feels terrible. And I realized I really like hot robot lady Rachel. I was like, that's what unlocked feelings for you? You're like fucking 40 years old at this point. Like, you haven't had feelings before? And then there's this scene that comes up later, like I said, dubious consent, where he has Rachel with him alone. And he goes, tell me you want to kiss me. She goes, kiss me. And then he kisses her. I was like, oh, that's not permission. And he goes, tell me you love me. And she's like, I love you. And he's like, yes. And then they like get intimate. And I was like, man, I think this is sexual assaults. I think he coerced consent out of her.
That's consent in the 80s.
But yeah, so I was really kind of sad at how they portrayed Rachel. Because Rachel, if you haven't read the book and only watched this movie, Rachel in the book is very much a, like, fascinating character who is really unlikable because, I don't know. She's, as I would say, girl boss, gatekeep. She's a very manipulative and, like, kind of mean person. So some of the payoff in her story and the way the novella plays out, I think is really interesting. Oh, and when the movie started, I was like, hey, Strider, is Deckard married in the movie? And he goes, no. And I was like, what? And then everyone who was hanging out with in Discord was like, why does it matter? And Strider's like, oh, in the book, it's like kind of a central, like, part of his character that he's married. Like, it's very important to the reason he is the way he is. But, and it's okay. A movie doesn't have to necessarily one-for-one do it. And I don't think they did say. I think they just do the, like, based off of the writings or based off of the book. But in any case, back to where I was going. But yeah, so you have, like, this whole Deckard plotline. And like I said, I kind of got incel vibes from him. You know, lonely man, hot robot, do job, hate people. And then, but I did like the antagonist character a lot. And when I was talking to Strider about it afterwards, he was like, it does kind of feel like a Frankenstein-ish tale where it's very much about, like, this corporation, kind of like the way Alien does it, where, like, in the androids, a corporation has made life and then decided that they have a limited lifespan because they don't know what to do with the fact that they were able to create things that are capable of being autonomous, like, almost fully. And so there's that whole interesting bit, and like you said, there's the kissing in the movie, and that has to deal with the main antagonist trying to piece together what he wants to be able to do in terms of, like, he's given like, he knows what he has in front of him, but the thing that kind of upset me is I thought he was an interesting character, but in the way that 80s action movies do, they kind of randomly go, and I witnessed war. And I was like, I would have liked to have heard about the war, because that sounds like a really important part of your character and why you're mad all the time. But instead, I'm just supposed to accept that you're mad all the time and that you're just the bad guy. But I don't know. I think visually very fun movie. As far as me being the kind of person I am, where I can't stop thinking. I was, I, I kind of would have enjoyed this. I think if it was two separate movies, in terms of like you have like the noir bit and you focused more in the noir bit, or you have the kind of like Frankenstein-ish story of the replicants dealing with, what makes a person, like just because you're born via like what humanity dictates as like reproduction, does that make you more human than something that looks, acts, and can feel like a human but is created in a lab, air quotes. And that as a sci-fi is really interesting, but kind of forcing the two together and saying, oh, by the way, it's an action movie, I don't know, it gets lost in its own sauce, I think. I know Strider said if there was a prequel just with the antagonist, I was like, oh, I would watch that, because him as a character seems more thought out to me, because Deckard very much just gives that general, I'm a cop on a job, I do what I have to do, and I monologue about hot women and needing a drink because my life is so hard. But and there's a thing that I missed that Strider made fun of. There's an important part of the movie, and Strider was like saying like, how cool is this gun? And I was like, I don't know, I'm not a guns person, this is not important to me. But he points out, he's like, well, it's like a laser blaster. I was like, okay. And he's like, but there's no way to open it. I was like, okay. And he was like, there's a scene where he runs out of ammo. And I go, wait, then what does he do? And he goes, exactly, you can't reload the gun, but if it's a laser blaster, theoretically you should never have to reload it. And I was like, why'd you bring this up? Now I'm pissed off. But I mean, you have to like
plug it in.
Yeah, you have to charge it. But silly 80s things. But overall, I'd say it has really cool visuals, has cool lighting, it has like cool like directions of like photography and everything like that. But as far as what I like to get out of movies, I don't know. It's not a bad movie, but I don't know. I'm a picky person, I guess. So, what did you guess that I rated this movie as?
I was leaning an 8.
Okay. I'll give it to you. I think well, I would say like 7.5. So then what, you get to skip your thingy next week?
Yep. You still have 4 minutes if there's anything else you'd like to say.
Let me see. I mean, it's one of those movies that I feel like culturally a lot of people are aware of it, and I just feel like a little hater because I don't know, the way that Deckard is portrayed in this is so like boring to me compared to what I remembered from the books. Because if you've ever read the books, Deckard is like, for one thing, it's not Harrison Ford. Deckard is like a regular guy, a little greasy, a little lonely, a little depressed. I forget if he's necessarily overweight, but he's supposed to be the kind of guy that's like, he's barely taking care of himself. And also,
it's like pure luck that he gets
the job. Yeah.
Well, that and any of the androids. Like, it's, if I remember correctly, like it's because he is good at the test. But yeah, he's not like a noir detective by any means, and he's also like, the way that the city and everything is portrayed is pretty much the opposite, because the book is very dystopian in terms of like, if I remember right, he lives in an apartment building alone, and his wife is like, don't talk to me, I'm depressed because we didn't get to go to Mars, I'm gonna be hooked up to a machine and on drugs because I hate you. Yeah, it's like, I always pictured it, well, I saw the movie first, and then later I read the book. And while reading the book, I've always pictured that they are like in dilapidated like buildings, almost like Fallout-esque, but the fact that they talk about like wind and dust storms just whipping around constantly. And
Yeah,
it's
like
just
environmentally, like Earth is just not vibrant. Yeah, in the movie they're like, look at these bustling big cities, shiny, bright, and new.
yeah. And it was just like, I always thought it was like, okay, here's all this stuff that's like, when you look at their building from the outside, it just like there's nobody living there. But then when you go inside, it's like modern, and it's like, it's not nice, but it's like way nicer than what the outside of the building is. And the fact that it's like, hey, life has no meaning because like animals and pets like just don't exist anymore. Like,
Yeah, they've gone extinct. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like I kind of mentioned, like it is a lot more dystopian in the book because Earth has basically been abandoned, and anybody who could afford to get off Earth did. Everyone left behind on Earth is just like, well, I got the leftovers. Everything else is extinct. I'm trying to survive. So it's a very different vibe. Like, not to say that you can't have the action movie and everything, but just, man, I really did not vibe with Harrison Ford's Deckard. Like, the antagonist of the movie is why I'm like, okay, this is fun. But
yeah, it felt like he's depressed for like, because Deckard in the book is depressed, and it's like, there we go. But like, no, there's apparently I was scanning through the Wikipedia, and Philip K. Dick was not a big fan of the original script that was written back in the mid 70s, and he's like, this is absolute garbage. And then I don't know what happened after that. Oh, well, we got 10 seconds left. But mainly because we are also book nerds. I'm curious, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep your favorite Philip K. Dick's book, or is there
it might be
a different
my
one?
only one that I've read by him.
Okay. So,
Because,
yes.
yes, technically. It's not my favorite classic. It's not my favorite sci-fi classic, but it is, I think it is good, and I do think it's worth a read because I do think it's a bit more accessible than I think some other classics are. But in some ways, I felt like the movie Blade Runner also pulled from like Brave New World and things like that, which Brave New World is kind of up there for like one of my favorite sci-fis because like the way that if I recall correctly in the novella, they're more robotic, right? Like they actually have robot parts. Whereas Blade Runner, the movie, they visit different scientists. They're like, oh, you make the eyeballs for me because you genetically make eyeballs. They go to the one guy and they're like, you're a geneticist. You can fix our genetics and like splice our DNA differently for us and like change our fate and everything. So, yeah, it almost feels like Brave New World. And then you also run into the discussion with the leader of the major corporation that makes them. I think he said their motto is more human than human, but he talks about like, oh, everything's predetermined because of what we did in the lab to grow you. So it feels more like Brave New World in terms of the way that the sci-fi plays out for, as they call them replicants in this versus androids. And I do like Blade Runner a lot as a book. I think you've read more Philip K. Dick than me. His other books are a lot thicker, right?
I don't know. Like I think
Androids
they're
is only
close
like
to.
Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, I think, is only 130, 150 pages. Like it's very
I can't remember.
very small.
Yeah, at most they're probably like between 200 to 300 pages long.
Okay, so nothing like.
Like what's hilarious is I remember the name. Total Recall. He wrote that.
I do think that movie is very funny. With Arnold.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, reading it, it's a super short story. It's like 3 pages,
Okay.
like, if that. And it's like everything is just the beginning of when he's like, I'm from another planet, all this stuff. Like, actually, like, I think the remake is closer to the original work than the Arnold movie, but the Arnold movie is still fun.
It's still that very much like 80s action sci-fi. Yeah.
Let's see. A couple other ones that I've read that I know a lot of people have probably heard because it has been made into movies and stuff. The Man in the High Castle, which is alternate history of Germany and Japan took over the U.S., what life would look like there, or something like that. Another big one is one that I think gets a little bit of attention because of its movie was A Scanner Darkly, which that one is all about like drug use and abuse and like government abusing that abuse. So it's pretty interesting, that one. But I personally think I have two that are my favorite that I think, hey, if you enjoy Philip K. Dick, you should check out these two books. Both so Flow My Tears, the Policeman Said, is it is pretty much a futuristic world where pretty much this guy, I think he's like able to see, he like jumps between different realities, and he's like trying to figure out what's real, where he's like in one world he's this genetically enhanced pop singer and television star, and then he wakes up in a world that he never existed in, and then it's like all these like people are like, who the heck are you? And like he keeps kind of I can't remember if he stays in that world or anything because it's been a little bit since I read it, but that is a really interesting book. It's crazy to think that he wrote these books, like all these books kind of like in the like 60s, 70s and stuff, like, because there's some of the stuff I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like reading it now in the 2010s and 20s, like it still holds up. But my favorite one that I like the most is Ubik. Ubik, I think I remember hearing that they're going to be making a movie about that or something, or they were trying to. But essentially, they have these buildings that like digitally upload the like remaining consciousness of the brain into onto like in this place, and like people the living are able to go talk to them to get like advice or hear things or just keep having their conversations. And like there's people that also have psychic powers that find out like, hey, it's the reality is being reversed where they are. So like there's people that are like in the current day, and it's just like slowly things are regressing, and they're like, what is going on? And they're trying to like get to certain areas before the world regresses to like a point that they can't travel and stuff. And it's and like figure out what's going on. So that one's a really interesting book, but it's been a while since I read either one of those. So it's from a time when, hey, people were a little bit more outspoken about racism, so it could be there. But I can't remember, but I do remember the stories and the themes were pretty good from those books. But I have to share my movie. There we go. As I am going to write down this time. Okay. So, as I said earlier, was flipping through my movies. Originally, I was thinking about watching, well, I saw Hell and High Water, and I was like, no. Like, we just talked about it, and I was like...
That's for another prompt when we have to watch each other's movies.
Yeah, well, yeah, we didn't get that one. I was like, no, I'm not really feeling that right now. And there was one that was sticking out called Sicario. that I've heard is a really good movie and everything. And I was like, man, I want to watch this. It's by Villeneuve, Denis Villeneuve, who I believe did Arrival.
And the new
Dune, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't watched the new Dune, but I watched I know I watched Arrival, and I think another one of his movies, and I really enjoyed what I saw, so I picked up that. And then there's another movie I saw that is on my list to watch, but I think it's going to fit another prompt, so I'm going to hold off before saying that one, because I believe that one will be coming back. And I flipped the page, and I saw Kubo and the Two Strings.
You've talked about wanting to watch more from that group, and I think they announced a new movie.
They have.
Yeah.
I forget what. I also didn't. My phone decided to turn off. There we go. So yes, I forget what they just announced, but it looks really cool. So, but yes, also think of your rating in mind. So this movie, one is a stop motion. If you I forget what I watched. Oh, Coraline. That's what I watched of them earlier. Excuse me, where they do stop motion, and it's very high quality of their stop motion.
Like productions, and they announced Wildwood in October.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, oh, that looks fun. So this movie is set in feudal Japan, where pretty much we see that this boy named Kubo, he has this magic that he's able to, when he's playing his I know it's not called a guitar, but I can't remember.
Is it a shamisen or is it a?
It is
no.
shamisen.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what it's called, but I recognize the instrument. And so he goes into town and he plays this, and when he plays it, he has this magic pretty much that origami folds paper, and he's able to tell stories in doing this. And the thing is, like, he's telling these stories, everyone loves them, and there's like this old grandma that's just like, oh man, like, are you actually going to end a story? And he's like, well, we'll see. And it looks like he's getting right towards the end of the story, and then this bell rings, and he's like, I gotta go. And like, he runs back home, and he returns to his mother. Before he leaves for the morning, like, he kind of brings his mother kind of out. Like, they live in this cave that's like far away from the village, and like, she's almost like she's not there, and so she's kind of just like out of it, and everything is just sitting there, and like, he just leaves her there to sunbathe pretty much, like, and then gets home, is making dinner, and then she like regains her awareness, and it's just like she comes to life again, and it's just like, oh man, like, Kubo, there's all these things, and like, we learn that the characters in his story is the stories that she's telling of her husband Kubo's dad. And it's just like all these things. So and the thing is, like, he doesn't know the endings to some of these because we see that she's forgetting, she's losing her memory, because we're hinted at it in the beginning that an event happened where she like, due to stress and just like being attacked and all that stuff, like, isn't able to remember certain things and is slowly fading. But the big thing that she tells him is, don't go out at night, because my family, they are looking for you. Kubo only has one eye, and it's just like, your grandfather stole your one eye, and if you stay out after night, they will be able to find you, and they're going to come take your other eye. So all of that goes on. Like, that's pretty much the first 10 minutes or something like that of the movie. To where um, he comes down and it's like a festival, and like the old lady that's like telling him is like, hey, everyone's going down to give a lantern to the dead, so that way they can talk to them and put them in the river and send them away. And he's like, you should go do that if you have someone you want to talk to. And he's like, well, I want to go talk to my dad. Why not? And he tries this, and he sees everyone else talking to the dead, and his dad doesn't show up. Like, they physically show up as this like lantern light ghost. And his dad's like, and he's like, well, fine. He's like, didn't want to talk to you anyway. And because of this, he's not paying attention to the time because he's like praying and all this stuff to get connection. And then he realizes, oh no, I stayed out too late. And it's like instantly his aunts find him, and he's just like, oh, I can see why there's not a family reunion. And from there, he's sent to this other world, or this in-between world, where this monkey doll that his mother told him, hey, always carry Mr. Monkey with you because he will protect you no matter what. In this other world, the monkey is real and like is just like, we need to go get the ancient treasures that he's been telling stories about, that his dad's been trying to get. And he's like, you need to collect these to protect yourself. And there he goes on this epic adventure to go do that. Along the way, the only other character that's worth mentioning is a beetle. It is a human beetle, pretty much, that he's like, I have no memories of why I'm here or what everything. It's just like, all I know is that I served the samurai, like, and he says his dad's name. He's like, I served him. He was my sensei. And it's like, I had a crest, and like Kubo has his dad's robes, and it has the crest on the back. And he's like, oh, and he like moves this thing away, and it's like this flag or thing. It's just like, it's the same crest. This is obviously fate. I need to go with you. Like, very much samurai stories. Like, this is a sign. You are gonna help me find the purpose of my life and go forward. So that is kind of like the setup, and it's just like kind of going back and forth where the way Monkey and Beetle interact and the way they look after Kubo, it's just like, it gives you hints about like, maybe they're not just a monkey and a beetle, maybe they're somebody else, but it's like, it's not like holding your hand as you are watching this movie as it reveals information, because you're definitely going on this adventure and you hear about like these items that that Kubo's trying to get, but overall there's like just a strong trying to think of it, it's that there's a strong focus on family in this movie. There's a strong focus on like kind of like your like parental sacrifice and care like for their kids, and just like, but then also at the same time like, hey, like not taking responsibility, but it's just like stepping into their shoes and following their example that they left you. And so like as Kubo like learns that he's getting more, like he's gaining more magic as like he's getting a little bit older, and now it's definitely happening with like now that all these events with Monkey and Beetle, it's just like his magical abilities growing. It's just like, it's like, hey, no, I'm growing into, I'm no longer a child. I'm pretty much like growing into an adult. And what does that look like? And it was funny because it's like, I remember watching a couple movies in the past, like on this podcast, and oh no, I gotta go back a little bit further. I remember listening to other podcaster shorts or stuff like years ago, where people were like, "Dude, I don't know what's wrong with me. I was watching this kids movie with like some Disney movie with my kids, and next thing I know, I'm stinking tearing up right next to my daughter, and she's making fun of me, and I'm saying, "Shut up." And I thought that was funny, and then I'm sitting there watching this movie, and it's just like, well, that video makes a lot of sense now, because it was just the themes and just the way it was going. Like, I wasn't full out crying and bawling, but it was just like the tear, like I could feel the eyes tearing up and everything, and I'm like, well, I guess this is what movies are going to be like from now on. But no, I really enjoyed the theme of it. Overall, like, as I said before, Lakia, they have their own art style, and you can tell it's a Lakia film, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And so it's just because I watched another, I think stop motion is a very interesting art style because there's so many different forms. Like, you got Wallace and Gromit. We have Memoir of the Snail that I watched earlier this year. And then Coraline and Kubo and the Two Strings, which Kubo and the Two Strings and Coraline are similar, but they have their own like flair to it. You can tell it's like a similar art style, but it's at the same time it's not like, oh, they just reused the models and like for Kubo and Coraline, and like Frankenweenie, I think is the other one. I'm blanking on the name of the ones that I've seen. It's like they have similar techniques because they probably have like this art house of people just making these models and puppets and stuff. But it's like you can tell each one is distinct. Like, they have their own art style, they have their own and stuff, and it's like you can tell they're from the same production house, but you don't feel like you're just watching recycled.
It's not things. It's not like watching Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride, where you're like, yeah, that's the same exact art style, but it's not even in the same universe. That kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, so there's that. Like, this, it's insane looking at this and realizing that like this is. There's definitely watching this. There's like CGI tricks that they do. Like, it's not all stop motion. They do have some stuff in there that is, because they show for their end credits like them filming in front of a green screen where they put stuff in later, and there's stuff and we're like,
for background and stuff. Okay.
But
the main characters are all like rigged and
rigged, and I'm pretty sure like some of the buildings and certain things they made in there as well. So it's overall like watching it and just compared, not that Coraline was like not advanced in what they were doing. There's a lot of amazing things they did in Coraline with their animation and the stop motion, but I feel like to make combat and not just like normal sword fighting, but like magical combat in there as well. These sword fights and fights with magic that they look really nice, which is, I think, is a feat on its own. Like, visually, this movie is very amazing to watch, and then when you realize this wasn't done on a computer, for the majority of it wasn't done on a computer, and or it wasn't hand drawn, where there's like, it's not saying that those aren't on their own like creative and all that stuff, but it's just the fact that they had to puppeteer all these things to move. It's just I don't know, I find it insane, the patience that they have to do to get that. But overall, I will say the story is a little basic. If you've read Japanese stories before, like you can kind of, at least epics, you're like, okay, I can see where this is going with. I can tell who is who, what's going on. It's not a movie where the story is like, hey, twist, gotcha. But it is, it has its themes and its focus on, at least from what I was getting it from, like, of just family and everything and growing, that it does that very well.
Okay.
The only other thing I would say was a little strange is seeing this movie set in feudal Japan and then having Charlize Theron and Matthew McConaughey talking. Like it is what it is, but it was just like, okay, we I'm like, I know this voice, who is this? And then it said the name and I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
There it is.
But that's kind of like all I got about the movie. I say, hey, check it out.
All right. Did you say your rating? And I missed it.
Oh,
Or
no,
did you not?
sorry. I forgot about that.
So I'll say I was gonna guess that you would give this an 8.
That's what I gave it.
Both skipping stuff next
Yeah.
week. Or next time we record.
Man,
Look at
it's
us.
really good that we told each other what we rated it before. Scripted, no.
So we both get to.
Yeah, so we both skip.
And then we won't know who gets to describe our meal. But yeah. So. Yeah, it is interesting because I've gone through and I've been trying to watch like other movies that are on my to watch list, but I don't think I've watched any stop motion. Yeah, and this is your third one this year? Because you said there's the snail,
this is
there's
the
this, yeah.
Memoir of the Snail, Coraline, and this one.
Yeah, I think last year I watched Wes Anderson, and then the year before that,
We both watched Wes Anderson.
but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
haven't, like,
yeah.
since, yeah. And then before that was Marcel the Shell.
Yes.
Enjoy both of them, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
and
one of
they're all
those
different.
like, yeah, it's just one of those when I sit here and realize and go, wait, you watched 3 stop motions, I haven't watched one yet.
It's all good.
It just is like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you have no other additional thoughts on it, then I can go ahead and spin the wheel.
I say, let's do it. Let me stop the... Oh, don't start the time. Thank you. All right. I'm writing down the time for spinning that wheel.
Okay, full screen. Recording it now and spinning the wheel. It's so small now you can actually read some of the prompts as it's like slowing
Gross.
down. So the prompt we got this week was watch the other host's last movie.
Oh.
If you have already watched it, go down the list until you get to a film you haven't watched. So then you get to watch
I
Hell
got
or
to watch
High
Hell or
Water.
High Water.
And then I get to look out and see where I can rent Kubo and the 2 Strings.
Yeah, so... I forget.
Just when I said I haven't watched a stop motion yet this year.
Unless I say I can use my veto.
You could. Do you want to?
It would be funny because this is the one that got vetoed before.
Well, yeah, the 6-headed shark.
No, I own the movie, so I'm like, hey, I don't have to. I don't mind not having to not think for a bit. So, that means I get to describe my food again.
It's your prompt again. That's funny.
I believe it is. Yep, it's mine. So, and we didn't hit any other markers and all that stuff. So, but yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, like this would be fun if like we had people that like joined us in watching like the wheel, like if like we knew people were watching and just like, oh, I'm gonna take this prompt as well. Maybe we can be like one of those vlog moms and be like when I was 13, I put chicken in the dishwasher, and then that's why I watched Kubo and the Two Strings.
All related. It all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, oops, dropping pens and everything. But that is it, everybody. If you do watch any of the themes for this movie, just let us know below or above or wherever comments and posts are put. And we will get to it when we are kind of stacking recordings here for a bit because
in the next month, yeah.
One of us is leaving the country on purpose. I'm also stalling to be like, oh, hold up, let me just check to see if there was any fun.
That we didn't miss anything.
Yeah, because I do check this when I upload stuff. But sometimes I forget to take a peek. No. And let's see. Yeah, that's a Crater Roundup. But let's see. Comments. That looks like a negative.
Alright, and I just reserved Kubo and Two Strings DVD to pick it up at my library.
Excellent.
Perfect timing.
All right. Well, guys, you get to hear if one of us was lying about their movie. Until next time, bye.